This is One-on-One. We are pleased to be joined by Tom Nussbaum, who just simply says artist here, but you know something? You are an extraordinary artist. And the way I know you is because in my hometown, town you know well, of Montclair, New Jersey, there is a playground, the Edgemont Park, the children's playground there, that you had a very big hand in creating, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. And I'm a visual artist. I'm a sculptor. I also do painted sculpture, and I have kind of two practices. One is I make work in my studio, and I also do a lot of public artwork. And so the playground was actually a public art project that I did. And there's a little story behind it in that the community came together to raise a lot of money to make an accessible playground for kids who are in wheelchairs.
That's right.
And the community, everybody kind of chipped in to go this extra mile to make this playground accessible. And they wanted a public artwork that kind of reflected that. And so I designed a gate for that, and I put all these little animals and creatures and crawling along the fence, and each one is bringing like a little wheel to the center of the gate, and in the center above the gateway, they're building this pile of wheels and kind of building something together. And so it was a metaphor for the community coming together.
And coming together is what it's all about, and I've been in that playground many times.
Yeah, good, I'm glad you enjoyed it, yeah.
Let me talk about your studio art, and tell me if this particular piece, East Orange Boogie Woogie, does it come out of your studio?
It does.
Let's take a look at it and you talk about it. Go ahead.
Yeah. So I'm a sculptor, but I also build pieces that go on the wall, and they're kind of sculptural pieces that hang on the wall. And this particular piece was inspired by a pretty famous painting by Piet Mondrian called Broadway Boogie Woogie. It was from 1943, and Mondrian is a big artist in the history of Western abstraction. And my studio is in East Orange, New Jersey, and I was sort of riffing on some things that he had done. He used a very limited palette of red, yellow, blue, and white. And so I built this piece. I work very intuitively, and I kind of wanted to move that work forward and kind of push his ideas forward. And so I used a limited palette, and I built the piece out of welded steel. It's hundreds, thousands, really, of pieces welded together.
Thousands of pieces welded together.
Yeah.
And by the way, you can't appreciate that looking at it. I mean, I love the graphic, but you can't appreciate it until you see and feel it in 3D.
Yeah, it does have a three-dimensional feel, and yeah.
I'm curious about this, and for those of us who are not artists, when did you know you wanted to be an artist, or needed to be an artist?
Well, I always made things ever since I was a little kid. And I mean, I can remember being 6 years old and carving things out of sticks and gluing things together and building things and painting little models and when I was in third grade, I made all these constructions out of toothpicks, and I built these little structures, and you know, here I am 60 years later building much larger constructed pieces out of welded steel, but they're very similar to those things I made when I was a kid.
Your art. Different people take different things from it. Does it bother you when you have to try to explain what the art is?
Well, you know, I think the great thing about art is that it's open to interpretation. So when I do my work and I build it, I know what it means to me, but I don't think that meaning is fixed. And I think when people come and look at it and see things in it that are that they can relate to and understand or connect, people have associations, and those are really valid and really important. And so I like it when people bring their own, you know, interpretations to the work.
In the time we have left, we're showing different pieces of your art. I'm curious about this. We're here at the Newark Museum. This series is dedicated to featuring artists and talking about arts education and talking about opportunities for young people, particularly in our cities like Newark, to explore the arts.
Yeah.
Young people in cities like Newark, they don't have enough opportunities to experience art, to go into art.
Yeah.
to become artists, correct?
Yeah, I think that's true, yeah.
And what could it do for them if they had more opportunities?
Well,
A few seconds left, go ahead.
okay. I think what's important in art is that you can follow your own path. So I think for kids, and that was certainly true for me, and I think it's true for all kids, that you can follow your passion and make and do kind of what you want and control your own destiny. And I think the art has that to offer. And so if there's a way to offer that to kids and encourage them to follow their passion, I think that's an important thing that can be done for kids.
Real quick before I let you out of here. If you weren't an artist, do you have any idea what you'd do?
I'm in it, man. I love what I do, and I love to build things. I love to make things with my hands, and I worked as a carpenter when I was a young man, and I think that comes through in my work. But I make things with my hands. So.
Well, the fact that you're able to do what you do, and people can appreciate it, is a gift. And obviously, we thank you for joining us here at the Newark Museum. This series is dedicated to featuring artists and talking about artistic opportunities for young people as well, younger people. So Tom Nussbaum, thank you, but also particularly for that playground in Montclair that our kids appreciate every day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks very much.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the CAUCUS Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. And by the Newark Museum, in cooperation with NJTV, and 13 for WNET. Funding for this special edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato at Newark Museum has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, University Hospital, Johnson & Johnson, Prudential Financial's Global Communications Department, the Fidelco Group, and by the North Ward Center. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.